It's been said time and time again, but one of the biggest roadblocks standing in our way to success is our own fear of failure. But teaching us to fail fabulously is 9Honey's Shelley Horton, who hosts a brand new podcast on the subject.
Yes.
And she's here with psychologist Dr. Tim Sharp, aka Sharp.
Fail.
Hey, I have set the standard here, and we're just going to go lower.
We feel better already.
AKA Dr. Happy.
Dr. Happy.
Thank you for joining us. See, I did that so you both feel comfortable.
Yes.
But I mean, Shelley, this is something that surprised me about you, because you always appear so confident and together, but this is one of your greatest fears, is failing.
It is, and I think that's part of it, is I do project that I've got it all together and I'm a go-getter, which actually means I'm a perfectionist and I worry. I worry so much. I overthink everything. I overanalyze, and that drives me to work harder and harder, but it's not actually very healthy.
Why do we fear it so much? We're always told it's part of growing, yet we're so scared of it.
Yeah, look, it's an interesting one, because we were just talking earlier in the break about how the most successful people in the world have failed many, many times. And in fact, I've been lucky enough to work with some very successful people, and I know that they often fail more than others because they try more. So why do we worry? I think it's because of the meaning we ascribe to it, and I think we often take it very personally rather than seeing it as something we can learn from.
And that's the thing, when we fear it, it just means that we don't try anything new. We don't grow, do we?
It can be paralysing. It can actually stop you from attempting things that you might be great at, but you're so afraid of failing that you just decide not to try. I mean, it's terrifying.
So this new podcast that you're doing, you interview lots of famous women about how they've face planted and come back from it. Some good stories?
Yeah, it's absolutely hilarious. The thing that I have learnt throughout is by getting these successful women who have completely failed publicly for a lot of them, is how they pick themselves back up again and how to find a bit of humour in it. I think humour is a great way of dissipating some of the fear. But seriously, we've got like Julia Morris, Kerri-Anne Kennerley, you're part of it.
Yes, I know.
We're talking about some of your fails. Rosie Waterland's there. I've just found people who I thought would have just not had a worry about failing, and found that they actually do as well. So it's made it all a little bit more human.
Do you think this is something that women worry about more, or is it just that we tend to talk about it a little bit?
Look, I think everyone worries about it. I certainly, as a man, I worry about it all the time too. But I do think there's probably more pressure on women to be everything, to be great at their profession, to be a great mother, a great wife, a great friend, a great other. Whereas men probably only worry about it a bit more in their professional lives. But look, it's up until only very recently that we started to talk about it. So until fairly recently, it was all hidden, and that just built up stigma and more shame and embarrassment. So it's fantastic that in recent years, more of us, I think, have begun to be authentic and express vulnerability, and hopefully that will, break some of this down.
I mean, I was very reluctant to talk to Shelley.
Yes, you were. I almost had to pull it out of you.
Well, and I was talking about my failures as a working mother, but I actually found that once I started talking, it was kind of empowering.
Well, also, I think the important thing is we have so many mothers that live this Instagram filtered life of, perfect shots of the baby at the cafe and stuff like that. In fact, there are more fails than anything else when it comes to mothering, and that it doesn't mean you're a bad mum. And I think part of this podcast is going to show, by revealing some of those stories, everyone's normal. Just because someone's successful doesn't mean that they don't have a normal breakdown every once and again. And I think it's going to actually be comforting and make people feel better about themselves.
And so, Tim, just very, very quickly, what's the benefit then when we do share our fails?
Well, I think it connects us as humans. I think we can be kinder to ourselves and kinder to others. And then actually, if we feel better about ourselves, we can take more risks. As I said earlier, if we're afraid to take risks, if we never try anything, we'll never win.
All I ask is no one judges or trolls me for my honesty in your podcast. Thank you, Shelley and Tim, for joining us today. Appreciate it. And Failing Fabulously will be released every Wednesday for the next 12 weeks. You can download it. There's just added to my list of fails today. You can download it free from 9honey.com.au or your favourite podcasting app. So coming up next, The Perfect Witness, what to look for when